very special Clash at the Castle alliteration edition of the BCP, brought to you by our shameless promo friends at Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore. As I'm noticing, I need to get the logo out on the layout. We are here live, ladies and gentlemen, but check out Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore. They are on eBay, online, at our favorite place, Englishtown Flea Market here in New Jersey. Check them out on the weekends. Guys, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, we will see you this weekend. We got your wrestling figures, your title belts, G.I. Joes, X-Men, superheroes, Power Rangers, Turtles, my favorite, Ghostbusters, all that good stuff. Shameless promo. Follow them on socials, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore. Now that the bills are paid, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show. You know him as the host of Sweet Chin Musings podcast. He is the Mr. Perfect, and we got a new regime there. We'll see if that changes, of the BCP. Please welcome back to the show. Can you tell I've had a long day? Mr. Mike Mueller. Mueller, what's up, bro? Save me.
Not too much, man. Doing good. Happy to be back on the show as always. It's an honor for you to have me here. And you forgot Mr. Perfect along the long list of accolades. I'm also Slammy award-winning now.
Wow.
Podcast host. So, and if anyone wants to know what I did to earn that, I was voted best man. So that's all you need to know. My buddy just got married, and this was his, I was best man, and this was his gift to me, which I thought was super, super cool. So I get to add that to my list of made up awards that I've won. So I'm happy.
No, that's
to
legit.
be here.
You literally are the best man. How'd the speech go?
I won
bro?
it. Speech went amazing. The thing is, at the wedding, I knew about like 8 people, including the bride and groom. So I was more than a little nervous, and killed it. Had a bunch of old people come up and tell me I killed it. So I'm assuming I did a good job. Can't be mad about that, right?
He's Mr. Perfect at the weddings too, man.
Yeah. I only worked in one wrestling reference. I was going to go for more, but I limited it to one.
Yeah, dig it, bro. So, good to have you back.
Yeah.
And, dude, we have a debut, a long-awaited, overdue debut, and I'm not just saying that. He is surrounded by gold. He is a host of the Wrestling Wrealm. Guys, check them out. I watch their clips all the time. Got some great hosts. I did get to meet this man over at the Mecca of Wrestling here in New Jersey, Ridgefield Park. Please welcome to the show. We are not worthy. Our good friend, Mr. Brian H. Waters. Brian, welcome in, bro. How are you, man?
Hey, what's going on? Happy to finally be here, man. You know, we've been, I feel like we've been connected on social media probably for 5 years, it feels like.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. So, you know, I'm happy to be here.
Long overdue, man. And it was so good to finally get to meet you, man. I love the clips that you guys put out. You have great guests on your show as well. You have great, not only like predictions and stuff like that, but the way you guys kind of just like read what's going on the show, man. It's really great, man. So guys, check them out. We'll get the shameless promo in at the end, but Wrestling Wrealm. But guys, let's talk about it. We got to make our picks for WWE Clash at the Castle. I think it's going to be 1:00 our time here on Saturday. Very excited for this one. Not too shabby. New regime. So let's hit up the old Wikipedia over here. Let's talk about Liv Morgan defending her Smackdown Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler. Just saw Shayna in Atlantic City tagging with Ronda Rousey over there at a house show. So that was a lot of fun. Finally, those two linking up. We always talk about, we wish they did the 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen. Now we see Marina Shafir killing it on AEW and up here at BCW and the Independents. But what do we think about this? You know, a lot of opinions about like Liv versus Ronda and how, maybe Liv almost looked too strong at times and a little bit of the funny business that went on with that. Do we see Shayna Baszler ending the reign of Liv Morgan, or does this kind of connect her back to Ronda? Is this going to make Liv look too weak if she loses right away? Mike, what do you think about this?
Yeah, this is interesting. I was at Money in the Bank to see Liv win, and it was such a great moment. It was so cool to see her win and get her moment. A lot of people have been clamoring it for a long time. And I'm so glad that you started with this match, because I think this is like, to me, if Vince McMahon was still in charge, this is a slam dunk. Liv Morgan wins. First of all, if Vince McMahon is still in charge, I doubt Shayna Baszler is even getting the match. But I think it's a great opponent for her It's in the realm of Ronda Rousey. They did her no favors by having her win the way that she did against Ronda with the controversial tap. I totally understand why they did it. It protects Ronda, still makes her look strong. Now she's getting arrested every week and doing her Steve Austin thing, which is fun. But normally I would say this is a slam dunk for Liv. I'm going to pick Liv, but this is one where, like, if Triple H wanted to put his stamp on things immediately, I could see Shayna actually taking this, because I feel like Shayna is much more of a Triple H person than Liv is. But for the reasons you said, I think it would really, really damage Liv to lose this quickly. And while I think Shayna has, all the in-ring tools, I don't know if you're upgrading at all with like promos or, mic skills or anything like that. So I think they're going to keep it on Liv for now, but I am not expecting this reign to go too much further.
Yeah, interesting, man. I don't want to say copy and paste. I always get in trouble for that. But yeah, I agree. I would love to see Shayna win it. I love Shayna in NXT. Now it's kind of cool to see her get that momentum again. I did like that pairing of her and Ronda when we saw them at the house show. That's interesting. I'd like to see a little bit more of that. And I'm not the biggest Ronda guy when it comes to professional wrestling. So that could be very interesting. I just think, if Liv loses the belt now, it makes her look weak, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. She is kind of more of an underdog type, and now it's, like we always say on the show, you won the belt. What's next? That being said, I think the safe pick here, that's my MO safe pick, is I'm going to go Liv Morgan to retain here. Brian, what do you think?
I'm going Shayna. I think Shayna wins this. I think it's time. I think it's going to be less than 10 minutes on, actually less than 5 minutes. I think we're going to see restoration. I said that on the McMania podcast earlier. We'll see the dominance of Shayna Baszler. We saw her on NXT this past Tuesday or tonight, where she went to Mandy Rose and reminded Mandy Rose who she was. Now, we saw a lot of former champions go to the respective champions because they're doing this merger of the championships with NXT and NXT UK. So we got to see Finn Balor. We got to see Gunther or Walter. But it was something about when Shayna was there, and when Shayna went to Mandy Rose, it just felt like she had to remind you who she was. Not only letting Mandy Rose know what she's going to do and what Mandy needs to do and take care of, but also remind everybody like, hey, I was once dominant. And I think this is the perfect time. Liv Morgan, she's somebody, yes, like my daughter loves her, and my daughter's 7 years old, and, she's a huge fan. But to be honest, there's some people who are champions for a run, and there's some people who are champions for the moment. And I think Liv Morgan is a champion for the moment. And, you mentioned earlier, Mike, you was there. That was a moment. It was something unexpected. Nobody saw it. But now I think it's time to take the title off for her. I think she'll chase eventually, but I want to see Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler in a program together going head to head. And I think we get that started right at the Clash.
Brian, it's interesting that you say that too, because I'm totally on board with you. But the NXT thing actually solidified my pick for Liv, because I think what's going to happen if I see any scenario playing out with Shayna being champion, I see her actually going back to NXT and challenging Mandy Rose for that title. That's just kind of what I'm seeing. And then maybe at Survivor Series, we get like a women's triple threat if they want to bring that in there. But I don't watch NXT since it became 2.0. I haven't watched it, but somehow I saw that clip today I saw it and I was thinking, you know what, this is really strong, but it's almost too good not to follow up with. Like, I don't feel like it was just like her reminding everyone. I feel like it was really specifically, I'm like, all right, now I can see Shayna versus Mandy somehow happening. So I think if she gets gold around her waist soon, which she should have, I can honestly see it being the NXT title more so than the SmackDown Women's Championship just right now. But I forgot to say that in the beginning. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, Brian, really well. I think we have him back, Mike. Off to a stellar start. Hell of a debut so far, man. Perfectly said, man. I'm digging it. Let's move on here, man. And I'm digging that Ronda versus Shayna. That could be a lot of fun. Let's talk about, you know what? My guy, my favorite, Rey Mysterio, teaming up with Edge just like old times, with Dominic in the corner, taking on Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest with Rhea Ripley, who I'm sure is going to get some shine in this one, in their corner. Brian, do you think like the legends kind of put over I don't even want to say up and comers, but put over the younger guys here?
The 40-year-old up and comers.
Man, every time I pick the Judgment Day, they lose. It's one. I don't know what's the problem. But I feel like I have to here because they in Cardiff, and I know, like, I don't know all the regions over there, but I know like Finn Balor's from that continent. So I feel like this should be the time. I'm gonna pick the Judgment Day because if they lose, then just break up the group. There's no reason for them to be around. So I'm gonna put the Judgment Day down.
I mean, I want to like give you a counterpoint, and I really can't. I think we see Edge kind of supposedly putting this group together to put over younger talents, a new faction. But again, it's like, why do we hate them? Why do we sympathize with them? Why do we root for them? I mean, Rhea's awesome no matter what. They're cool. It's different, almost a reinvented, I don't want to say brood, but kind of like that dark, ominous bad guy. But again, yeah, I'd like to know why, and I'd like to understand it a little bit more. They used to have like this blue light that always came down, man. It's a little jumbled. And again, we've had changes in regimes and whatnot. So I'm sure we're trying to kind of put everything together. And I've enjoyed a lot of the changes or small changes and returns and all that stuff, but I'm going to have to go. You know what? I'll go Edge and Ray do the job on this one. Mike, what do you got?
Wait, do the job?
They lose. They lose.
Okay, all right. I got them winning here. I got Edge and Ray winning just because I feel like, Brian, exactly what you said. If they lose here, let's just break them up. And I think that is going to happen. I feel like all the momentum, really, I did not understand the removing Edge from the group. I know you need a big baby face with Cody going out, but I thought that was the absolute wrong way to go with that. I love Finn Balor, but I think the whole Judgment Day concept really fell apart when Edge got taken out of the equation. I think this is really, really going to be a feel-good moment. And yeah, Finn Balor is from the same continent. He's from Ireland, Cardiff, not in Ireland, but it'll be a split crowd because I think there will be a lot of people rooting for Finn Balor just because he is sort of not their countryman, but he's one of theirs. They'll definitely see him as one of their own. But I mean, they're going to love Edge and Rey Mysterio because they've been around so long too. The only thing I'm going to guarantee is Dominic gets his butt kicked by Rhea Ripley once again. That is sure to happen on the outside. I'm sure it'll play some kind of part in the finish, but I got Edge and Rey winning this just for the feel good moment. I'm not seeing a ton of feel good moments on this card. I don't mean to spoil future predictions, but I think this is going to be one of them. And what are we doing with Judgment Day? I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If they fell apart tomorrow, I would be totally fine with it. And I think, Edge is returning. Edge needs a big win. Ray's been eating so many losses. Like, let's slow down. Let's pump the brakes on all this legend losing streak that's been going on. And let's give the people something to cheer about. They're going to cheer because Edge and Ray are going to win.
Yeah, very, very interesting, man. Kind of send them home. Well, not send them home happy, but keep them
happy.
No,
not
yeah, who knows? Yeah. I think we know what the main event's going to be for sure. DJ
I don't think it's going to be the tag match.
Yeah. DJ Storm stopping by to show some support. I'll be on his show on Thursday night. We'll make our Clash picks as well. DJ saying Clash at the Castle could end up being one of the best WWE shows all year. Very interesting. Looking forward to it. John Perry saying in the chat, I'm saying a lot of surprises come back. Yeah, certainly. We're very excited to see Gargano come back. A shameless promo because I always talk about it. One of our favorite interviews with Johnny Wrestling himself.
Great
Check it out on
interview.
YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. We are such fanboys. All right. That being said, as a respected journalist, let's talk about Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins. This has been brewing for some time. They kind of turned it up to 11 last night with making it personal. Strong language, kind of I like the outside the box thinking. You have the almost like that fan cam where they're going into the building kind of perspective. Like that was outside the box thinking. I appreciated that from a production standpoint. I thought that was really cool. But not Matt Riddle, not my favorite. I'll leave it at that. Seth Rollins always puts on a good match, but in between the ropes, I'm not even that invested in the storyline, and I think a lot more people are now that they turned it up. Just me personally, I'm not saying it's not interesting or anything. Just me personally, I'm just like, yeah, they're gonna have a good match. But between the ropes, this could be really a good, just in terms of moveset, reversals, and psychology. I think this could just be a really good pro wrestling match and an entertaining match. So I'm more excited for not even just the storytelling, but like the match here. It should be very interesting. Yeah, I wish Kimmy was here at this point. Is this where
you can't hear her?
You know what? I'm gonna for Kimmy. I think this is where Seth gets a much needed, not mostly losing this year, a much needed win here. Turns it around. He's a trips guy. I mean, a lot of them are at this point. But I'll go with Seth to get the dub here. Brian, what do you got?
I'm going with Seth Rollins. He went very below the belt on Monday, where we saw a different side of Matt Riddle, as he has his first name back. And I think he triggered that emotion that he needed to. The last time we seen Seth Rollins get into somebody's head this way, I mean, we saw it with Cody Rhodes, but we saw this with Roman. And we know he's the last person to, I believe, one of the last people to beat Roman.
Technically.
By disqualification. But he was in his head. And you didn't hear the word bro come out of Riddle's mouth. You didn't see him try to get on a scooter. We've never seen that side of Riddle. And I think Seth Rollins is going to take that and turn it around. It'd be nice to see Rollins get a win, as we haven't seen him get a win. And I always say, somebody who can take a loss is definitely Seth Rollins because of, just how great this character has been. But I think he gets that win right here.
Mike, do we have a trifecta here? Or are you going to be the heel?
I love being a heel. I got my Always a Heel BCP shirt that you can pick up on, was it Teespring?
TeePublic, we'll take it, man.
TeePublic, yeah. Absolutely. I got mine in charcoal gray. It looks great. God. I sort of just want to pick Riddle to piss off Kimmy. But I think, oh God. This is definitely the one I'm probably the most torn on. I'm going to make it a clean sweep. I'm going to go with Rollins. I'm factoring in. Do we have any idea of Orton's timetable for return?
I got nothing.
Nothing? No, I don't know either. I can just see Brian has said what I've said many times on this show, that Rollins, this character, does not ever need to win, ever. And he's fine as a character. But I think this is going to be a win that he gets for exactly the reason that he just laid out. He's in his head. He's playing the mind games. I think we are going to slowly see the reemergence of Seth Rollins winning matches. I think this is a good spot for it. Ultimately, what I'm hoping is that this leads to Randy coming back, Randy sort of mentoring Riddle and being like, look, this guy took you out of your game. I'm the king of mind games. Okay. Look at my history. I am the master of mind games. And without me, you fell victim. I could have kept you on track, but I wasn't here. You fell victim. You need me. I'll show you how it's done. And then we get Randy versus Seth, maybe at Survivor Series, if he's back in time, Royal Rumble, whenever it is, doesn't matter. But I see this being a rare 2022 win for Seth Rollins. And wherever Kimmy is, whenever she's able to see this, hopefully she's going crazy and cheering, because I finally picked her boy.
Wow.
Can we get Mike the book and the pen? Because that was good booking right there.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. I can book WWE. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I can book WWE.
It's good now.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you said it, man.
I want to take this. No, I do want to take this moment. I'm sorry. I don't know if Bill is listening or watching, but Bill's just absolute raining of negativity on Triple H. Give the dude a break, man. I think he's way outperformed my expectations, and I think that's good enough to give him some compliments, man. He's just so quick to, snap the head off that WWE flower. He just wants to cut it off and throw away the stem. But I think Triple H has been doing a great job so far. So I just wanted to get that out there.
No, man, absolutely, man. We'll have to get you and Bill on the same show again, and you guys can hash it out. That's the.
Will he do a WWE show?
Well, yeah, he's not here tonight, so we'll say that. He'll be here for All Out shameless promo later this week. We'll get that going. I got to figure out when and how and who. But that being said, Clash at the Castle. Let's keep it going. We finally have our Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore logos out. Guys, thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Shameless promo. Let's talk about formerly Walter taking on Sheamus. Is this a straight up singles match, or I felt like there was some sort of thing here? No, straight up for the IC title, huh? That's it. Mike, what do you got for me, bro? Oh, I'm sorry. I see you drinking water. I'm like, let's go to Mike.
You're good. No, I'm good. First of all, this is probably going to be the hardest hitting match in 2022 for WWE. These two guys are going to beat the living hell out of each other, and I'm here for it. I don't see Sheamus taking the title off of Gunther, but I think it's going to be a really, really physical match. I think you're going to see a lot of red chests going on because they got a lot of pastiness to work with. So I'm hoping for a lot of color in that. I can also see this being the longest match of the night, simply because these guys can just go. Both of them are incredible professional wrestlers. But I don't see the momentum ending with Gunther here. I think he's going to continue it. Can you guys hear my cat?
No, I don't, but we love pet cats.
Okay, thank God. Thank God. I can hear it big time, and I'm sorry. But I think this is a win for Gunther, and he's going to continue on this role. I really see him, as long as Roman Reigns is kind of doing this part-time schedule, I really see them elevating the U.S. and the Intercontinental Championship, and you sort of have a mainstay and a old school whatever face in Bobby Lashley that's bringing up the U.S. belt on Raw. I see the appeal in keeping it on a newer sort of face with Gunther and having him elevate the Intercontinental Championship. And if you play hot potato with the belt, it's really difficult to elevate the prestige. So I think for all those reasons, he's going to retain.
Yeah, I had a feline you'd say that, so I had to make the cat.
I'm
just kidding. All right, so let's move.
I set it up.
That being said, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Gunther, saw him again at the house show walking in, and he looked, the transformation, man, is insane. He looked fantastic, like a whole different human, man, It's insane, man, and you said it perfectly, just hard-hitting match. That being said, I don't see any reason for Sheamus to win that Intercontinental Championship because Gunther's got to keep it warm for Johnny. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be a great match. We'll see what happens there. Welcome in Kofi Wheatston from the Dirty Heels podcast.
I love that.
Giving the old acclaimed in the chat, man. Good seeing. I can't wait to see your face again. Guys, if you are booking a local show, please invite the Dirty Heels because it's almost that much more fun. They get hyped. They get me hyped. They're a ton of fun. I love those guys. Check out their podcast, Dirty Heels Podcast. Also, check out Wrestling Wrealm Podcast. And let's throw it down to the man, the myth, the legend from Wrestling Wrealm, Mr. Brian H. Waters. What do you think about this one, dude?
Woo! They gonna kill each other. Shout out to my co-host, the real Dwayne Allen, because that's what he's been saying for the past. Ever since this match was booked, he's been using that line. I'm excited about this match, and honestly, I would, if I was booking, I would open the show with it. Start off hot. You just imagine that crowd's gonna be rocking and rolling because we're spoiled over here in the United States. We get wrestling all the time. They don't get a big showing, and they're going to appreciate it. And so I would start it off, start the show off, like you said, they'll probably go 20-25, but I think Gunther wins this one. It would be cool to see Sheamus, but because I know this is the one title he wants. He's been very vocal about wanting to complete that Grand Slam and having the Intercontinental Championship. It's the one championship that'll lose him if you don't include the Universal Championship.
That Twitter picture was great with all the belts.
Yeah, I just don't think he wins it yet. I think he does it as a face, or a true baby face. I just don't see it happening right now. I think Gunther's that momentum is going to continue to roll.
Question for both of you. Who do you? Because it's heel versus heel. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is going to sort of play the face in this match? I think it's gonna be Sheamus.
I don't necessarily like. Again, I know that's like kind of like the the way of wrestling and storytelling, and I don't necessarily. And I've said this before on the show. I think that's not an old school way of thinking because things work for a reason. I mean, that's wrestling 101, face versus heel. I don't feel you necessarily. Someone told me this before, like the crowd decide, and you asked that question based on that. The crowd decides who's face and who's heel, no matter how you book it.
But I don't think they're going to both fight as heels, like face versus face. I mean, they do that in AEW all the time, and you can see that it works because if there's respect for both wrestlers, it works. But I mean, I don't see them both like cheating or using coward. I mean, neither of them are cowards, but I don't see them like. I feel like someone's got to take on more of a face role because face versus face to me is an easier sell than heel versus heel.
Great
like
point.
the crowd needs to cheer for someone, and are they going to cheer for someone that's going for low blows or taking off the turnbuckle or dodging out of the ring every time they start getting beat up? I don't see that.
So I think it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, please.
I was going to say I think Walter is going to get the fans rowdy with the chops, and I think it's the wrestling moves and stuff like that. He's going to play off of that crowd one night only. I think he'll be the face in this, but he's going to utilize his wrestling moves, his skill set, his hard hitting abilities, and that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. Well said. Good argument.
Very well said. And I was going to say, I'm totally not stealing your answer, but I'm like, it's going to depend on the match flow, like how the moves play out. Like the story is going to be the hard hitting moves.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be the story of the match.
That's a face right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. You said it perfectly. And I think, when Sheamus is, got him over the rope and, getting them with the 10 hits, everyone's gonna be nice. They might be cheering both guys, especially if it's a really good match, man. So that's a great point, man. That's a fantastic question, and all the more reason to tune in. And no, I am not doing shameless promo for WWE, nor are they sponsoring. But I think it's gonna be a very interesting match.
We're not sponsored by WWE yet.
No, yeah, not yet, Mike. That's your show.
I'm working on it, man.
All right, let's take it to the 6-woman tag team match. Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka taking on Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. I did a lot of thinking on this one, and I think Bayley's team gets the dub on this one for a lot of reasons. It's a rare opportunity for Bianca to take an L in some form or fashion. I'm not saying she's going to get pinned, but to take an L in some form or fashion, it's a safe way to protect her. We don't see Bianca lose a lot, nor should we. We saw them kind of have a ton of fun just taking on some great independent talent, which is amazing. Danny Moe, great seeing you there. Kayla Sparks, Katie Arquette, I believe the name was. They all did a great job, and I love seeing the independent talent get that spotlight. So congrats, Danny Moe and co. But they ran through them. Let's be real. They kind of had fun with them. You could see it was all smiles. They're hitting all their moves. It was clockwork. Not to be like it's the kiss of death win before the pay. Like, I think there's a new way of thinking here. We don't know how this is going to be booked. But this is a rare opportunity where Bianca can lose. Bayley, we have not seen in action too much. Io, I'm a huge fan of. I just think it makes sense moving forward. And also to set up a contender for Bianca, you have several choices there. I think Bayley's team has to win, right, Brian?
Yeah, I pick Bianca's team.
Okay.
Mainly because that babyface pop. But I mean, this is why I love talking wrestling with, because you exchange information, you hear these ideas, and it's like, but it could work that way as well. But I'm gonna stick to what I've been going with, and I'm gonna stick with Bianca and them just for the simple fact I think they could just get that babyface pop over there.
Yeah, I think and I've been thinking that with like a lot of these matches on this card is like, you're over there, you're gonna need a lot of good guy like wins, like you need those pops, you need those moments, and this could be a really easy one. Very well said, Mike, the WWE booker over here. What do you got?
All right. So I was going to make this my lock of the night, but since Brian picked against me, I'm not making it my lock of the night, but I am still picking Bayley, Io, and Dakota. For the reasons that you said, it's a rare opportunity for Bianca to get a loss. There's a 0% chance she eats the pin or submission or however it ends. Bayley's coming back. We've not seen much of her. This is an easy chance for her to win. You're setting up this 6-woman match is not nearly as exciting as a Bianca versus Bayley title match. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So I think you have to give this win to Bayley to give her a reason to go for the title. I can see over the next coming weeks, I can see Bianca beating Io and Dakota in singles matches leading up to the next pay-per-view or whenever they decide to have their title match. But I think we are looking at Bianca versus Bayley for the title sooner rather than later. And to me, again, wins, losses, all that crap doesn't matter in pro wrestling, but we like to at least pretend it does. So if we're pretending that all these things matter, why on earth does Bayley deserve a title shot if she does not win this match? That's kind of where I'm at. So I see the heels definitely winning this and setting up Bianca versus Bayley pretty soon. And I think that match is going to tear the house down. But I was 100% confident. Now I'm going to say I'm 91. I'm going to say I'm 91% confident because I just watched Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, SummerSlam 91. So I'm 91. I'm 91% confident that the heels are going to win this.
Dig it. Not quite a lock of the night, but I think
not a lock of the night anymore. I'm running out of chances.
Yeah, man. Safe pick for sure. Are we at the main event already? I think we only have 6 matches. Let's
Did we go through 5 already?
Think so. Yes, unless I missed something. I think so. And
no,
I like
we're there.
I like these timely podcasts. I love it.
Yeah, man. In and out.
Let's do this thing. All right. This should be, right? Like, Mike, I'll throw it to you first, man, because
please do. Because my booking's incredible.
the victory sip. Roman Reigns. You said, dude, several times on this podcast, you're not going to bet against Roman. And I think, and you're a betting man. You are a betting man.
I am a betting man. And look at my FanDuel account. I'm a betting man.
Nice.
I just lost my ass with Nebraska versus Northwestern, but we're not going to talk about that. Instead, we're going to talk about why Roman Reigns wins this match. Look, I know that we're in Scotland, and I know that this would be a huge, huge moment, and people have been clamoring for Drew to have his moment because he never got it in front of a live crowd, and what better spot to do it than here? I could not possibly agree with that more, but here's why it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because Roman Reigns is going into WrestleMania as the WWE and Universal Champion. Roman Reigns is going to have 2 matches at WrestleMania. On night 1, he's going to face The Rock, and he is going to defeat The Rock. On night 2, he is going to face the Royal Rumble winner for the unified belt, which is going to be Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to defeat him, and Cody Rhodes is going to bring back the Winged Eagle belt, which of all the beautiful belts on the shelf behind you, Brian, I do not see, but we're not going to talk about that.
It's over there.
He's got it.
Okay, all right. I saw the damn spinner belt, but I didn't see the.
I got the big eagle, but the Winged Eagle. I have to get up and
that's
get
the
that
Attitude Era belt, but we'll take it.
Yeah,
we'll take it. Attitude Era belt is a close number 2, but I know this is going to send people home pissed off, but I think that's honestly the point. You got a part-time champion that ruins people's hopes and dreams, and the whole bloodline is going to get involved. It's going to be so unfair. It's going to be so cowardly. It's going to be so crap. But Roman Reigns is defending this belt, and Roman Reigns is holding on to the title until next WrestleMania. You got 7 more months of Roman Reigns predictions from me, Rob. So just lock that in now, and we can circle back at WrestleMania. But this, I'm calling it the lock of the night. Damn it, because I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Roman Reigns does not lose it. Maybe somehow Roman Reigns wins this match, but Drew McIntyre wins this match, but he does not win the belt. There is no way Drew McIntyre is holding the. Oh, dude, I was there. I was there. That was my first live event with SummerSlam 93, Palace of Auburn Hills. And I popped when he got the count out loss because I was 6 and I didn't understand. And then I was horribly disappointed. So we might get a rerun of that, but there is no way Drew McIntyre walks out of the catastrophe at the castle with the titles. It's just not happening.
It's a very stupid question. There is no way. This again. Disclaimer, very stupid question. There is no way that one title is on the line. They are both 100% undisputed on the line.
It has not been from what I understand, it has not been advertised at all as a split title situation where only one's on the line. Yeah. It's the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. They put the whole thing in one title. If that's not the case, then I'm not as confident in that pick because I can see him losing one versus the other. But I believe that it is a unified title match. And for that reason, there is no way that Roman Reigns loses the title. Maybe he loses the match, but he does not lose the title.
My train of thought here is obviously it's almost problematic in several ways. I mean, now Cody's out of the equation to have both of those belts on Roman. We've talked about this for a long time. That being said, it makes a lot of sense for him to have him. He is, he's going to be number one in PWI. Like he's the number one guy as he should be. He's running through everyone. It wouldn't make sense for him to lose both belts to Drew right here. And I hate to be the fantasy booker. I really do. But, and the what if guy, but what if, Drew carried us through the COVID era. Drew never got that big win in front of the crowd. What if, and if it was just the WWE Championship, and I don't know why it would be booked like that. It doesn't make sense storyline-wise. It'd be great to split those up. Drew got it, and you could play it out like it's Sammy's fault, or it's something because we all have these moving parts, because Sammy's going to eat it at some point, and that's going to be fun. I mean, I'm enjoying this right now. Someone I forget what they were calling him, the something oos. But it should be really interesting how this plays out if that were the case, because I could see Drew really getting that finally deserved. Like, it makes so much sense. Send them home happy. But since it's not like just taking the belts off Roman here, the shock value would be huge. The headlines there would be huge. Sure. We'd all be happy for Drew. I'd be happy that I was wrong. But since both belts are on the line, I just don't. You just come in, Triple H comes in and it starts this new regime here, and it's almost like it's like fire a guy on the first day kind of thing. Like, now you're taking the belts from Roman. This is some fun fantasy booking. I'd love to see Drew win, but there's no reason for Roman to lose both belts here. That being said, we've seen Drew run through Brock Lesnar, at that one WrestleMania with like a couple Claymore kicks. So, yeah. I want to pick Drew. But I have to pick Roman. And Mike, before we throw it to Brian to take us home, go ahead.
Just two quick things before we throw it to Brian. One, first of all, I don't want to say I love Drew McIntyre, and I think he deserves that moment. I just don't think it's here. Two, the other thing for like everyone talking crap about Roman Reigns and his part-time schedule and blah, 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 blah. He's been the WWE / Universal Champion for 24 months. He's had 24 title defenses. And if you go super, super old school booking, you're supposed to defend your title every 30 days. So people complaining about him not maintaining a regular schedule, he's on pace with title defenses. So like, let's not crap all over the idea that Roman Reigns isn't there when it matters, because he is. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Brian, you gonna swerve us here, man? Take us home, bro. What do you got?
Oh no, I don't bet against the tribal chief. The ones I look at the beginning of the year. Well, in December, we did bold predictions, and my bold prediction was that Roman Reigns will walk into 2022 and leave 2022 as the Universal Champion. Now, I wasn't expecting a title merger, but nonetheless, I'm sticking with my pick. But if there was a time where I felt maybe a little threatened, it's now. But if he can get through Drew McIntyre, I know that the tribal chief is running through and running wild, brother. But I think he's gonna hold on to this. I think it's gonna be good. I think they're gonna take us for a ride. And I think at the end of the day, Roman Reigns is gonna get the 1, 2, 3, and he's gonna stand over, and we're gonna hear the music, and it's gonna be a wrap.
Yeah, I love it. And Brian, dude, this was a lot of fun. Guys, I'm glad we were able to do this in a timely manner. Thank you guys for staying up late doing this. This is awesome. But before we get out of here, we are all about that shameless promo here on the BCP. Brian, tell them about your awesome show, Wrestling Wrealm, where they can follow you guys, any merch you guys got, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can check us out, WrestlingWrealm.com, get our merch. You can get this t-shirt right here. We got the Proud Wrestling Fan shirt. We all wrestling fans, be proud of it. So shout out to my co-host, Dwayne Allen, my other co-host, Brother Hugh, our marketing manager, who we put in front now, not just behind the scenes, but he's on camera. Every Wednesday, you can check us out at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter. So make sure you check us out there. And, also just check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm, where we got plenty of shows. We got old school shows. We even got a Roman Reigns spotlight. I did my top 5 favorite belts in my collection, and that was last year. I gained more, so I might have to update that one. The real Dwayne Allen did his top 5 favorite world championship designs. We also did, we got tons of shows on there. It's just tons of shows. 5 reasons why Bret Hart was Mr. SummerSlam, all types of cool stuff. So you go in there, it's nice and organized. I took time one day. Got season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Wrestling for the Culture, break it down with Brian H. And of course, the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. And then you can also check me out every Tuesday on the Mac Mania podcast. Evan Mack, Global Boys, Jack Farmer, a part of the Ringer Wrestling feed, which Cheap Heat and the Masked Man lives. And I produced the Book of Wrestling. This week, we got another episode. We've been doing 25 catchphrases that describe the Attitude Era.
Oh, you didn't know?
Huh?
Oh, you didn't know? You got that going?
That might, I think that's down the line, but we definitely got Tyson right hand coming up. So we'll talk. That's hosted by David Shoemaker, aka the Masked Man. The last episode we dropped was That's Gotta Be Kane. But we've done episode. We got 2 parts to Suck It because it was a lot. 2 parts to the Montreal Screwjob.
Oh wow. Yeah,
we Austin 316. So it's a bunch on there. Check out on Book of Wrestling on all your podcast platforms.
I love it, man. You're definitely coming back. A hell of a debut, bro.
That's awesome.
I knew it would be.
That's awesome.
Mike, tell them about Sweet Chin Musings.
Sweet Chin Musings, me and my buddy Luke, we talk about everything past, present, and future. We just did an incredible interactive tag team tournament where the fans decided on the best tag team of all time. And much to my surprise, FTR ended up winning that by literally 1 vote over the Hardy Boys. It was insane. It was so close. We did a fatal 4-way final 4, and it was Usos, New Day, FTR, and Hardy Boys. And by 1 vote, FTR came out on top. We talked, like I said, everything past, present, and future with wrestling. We have our Too Hot to Handle, Too Cold to Hold segment where we talk about everything that we are hot on with WWE and AEW, and everything that we are cold on with WWE and AEW. It's very exciting. Drops about every other week, usually on Sundays. Again, that's Sweet Chin Musings, all of the Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. If you're on Twitter, take the I out of Musings because it was too long of a handle, and that's what you got to do. But other than that, you can catch me writing the occasional article for thepopbreak.com. And of course, being a wonderful regular right here on the BCP podcast, which I am so grateful to be part of for this community and with you guys. You do such amazing work. I'm so happy to be a part of it. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Rob, take us out of here.
You're an A+ player, guys. Both of you guys. I appreciate you guys.
I'm no Daniel Bryan.
Appreciate you guys. And like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other.